right, guys, 2026 RoofCon. We're excited because this is primarily a residential roofing industry event, and we're here to spread the good word that most roofing contractors are building their business the wrong way. They're navigating the business and the roofing industry with the wrong model. So the biggest guys, the top companies on the America's top 100 roofing list, they are using a model that is not chasing insurance claims. They're not chasing general contractors. They're not, chasing commercial deals that where they experience long sales cycles. They're doing something different. They're looking at every opportunity as this roof's brand new, it needs replaced, or it's somewhere in the middle. And for every roof, whether it is brand new or it is needing replaced or it's in the middle, they have a monetization pathway, meaning that they can repair the roof, they can restore the roof, or they could replace the roof. But no matter what position that roof is in and what the decision makers are actually wanting to do, they can attach a maintenance agreement to it, meaning that for every roof that they walk, they're going to monetize it today with a repair, with a restoration, or with a replacement. But even if they don't close the deal, they're gonna recycle the lead with a master service agreement. So if the outcome is either to close the deal now, close the deal next week, or close the deal down the road with the laying the life cycle of the roof out, there's actually 3 additional reasons why the service model crushes every other opportunity for running or style of running a roofing business in 2026. Let me explain. All right, so the first reason is really simple. We call it the growth model. And so most roofing companies are growing on a transactional growth model, meaning that they hunt a job down, they close a deal, and then they have to go hunt for the next one. And so in order to double the business, which is what most roofers say, I just spent an hour walking around talking to guys asking what their goals were for 2026. It's everyone's oh, we're gonna double the business this year. Right? We're gonna go from 2 million to 4 million. We're gonna be a $3 million company to a $5 million company. But it's in order to do that, you have to become a master of marketing and sales, or at least that's what they believe. And so when you're doubling a business in a transactional model, going from 2 million to 4 million, from 4 million to 8 million, it's yeah, of course you have to become a master of sales, but you also have to become a master of your cash resources, your people, your systems, your processes, and all the other things that come along with the marketing and sales as you grow. On the other side of the teeter-totter from the transactional model is we have the compounding model, which is okay, same year, we sell the same 100 projects as we did in the transactional model reference. So we sell 100 deals from January 1st to December 31st, except in a compounding model, we put every project that we do on a service agreement, meaning that on January 1st, we roll into the new year with 100 customers already paying us on a reoccurring method, meaning that we have to go out and inspect their roof, or we get to go out and re-inspect their roof annually or biannually. And so by the time we get to, this year to next year to the year after, we're still, in order to grow the business or double the business or 10x the business, we can still put in the same amount of effort of selling that original 100 roofs and stack those customers year over year over year and end up with the 2x business, 3x business, 10x business 10 years down the road. The second reason we look at a compounding model for the roofing industry or a service model for the industry is because if we look at the life cycle of a roof, just any roofing system in general, it's essentially about 25 years, okay? And so if a roof is gonna last 25 years, that would mean that from today, 25 years down the road, 100% of this city is going to need a new roof. And so it's interesting because across those 25 years, on if we were to divvy it up on an annual basis, it's about 4% of the market, right? 100% of the market divided by 25 years, about 4% each year. And the way I usually explain this is that the membrane or the tiles or the shingles or the metal panels or whatever it is, those things will last the 25 years, probably more, right? 30, 40, 50 years, whatever the manufacturers actually think they will, but the byproducts won't. And so it's just like a car, right? If you buy a brand new truck off the lot, and even if we buy the bumper to bumper, NDL warranty, it's the truck still needs the tires rotated. It still needs the oil change. It still needs the wiper blades, swapped out after a couple months. And so we think of it as okay, we could chase the 4%. We could chase the roofs that actually need replaced out here, or we could also chase the 96% of the roofs that need, repairs, maintenance work, service work in general, and essentially capture the 100% of the market. So you could chase re-roofs and do 4%, or you can have the whole thing. All right, and for the third reason why, I'm actually gonna cut in a little snippet right here of our live talk here at RoofCon so you guys can get the full effect of the third reason and the most important reason why we actually run this compounding model. Now let's talk about market domination. The most profitable reason for a service and maintenance agreement roofing model and why it completely crushes every other model is because of these simple numbers. So let's talk about a $20,000 roofing project. For some of you guys, that's a repair. For some of you guys right now, that's the average job ticket. Maybe that's like a replacement, okay? So it doesn't matter what type of project this is. We're just talking about a $20,000 project in general. And so if your gross margins are 40%, it's about 8,000 bucks, right? Not bad. But what if, on top of that, you also locked that client into a $2,000 a year service agreement where you aim for 80% profit margins? That basically means that over the next 10 years, right, you do the $20,000 job and then you service this building or these people for the next 10 years, that client is worth an extra $16,000. But that is without including any of the repairs that are gonna come up. That's without any of the additional work that you're gonna get referred from serving that guy. And so what happens is that client's worth an extra $16,000 in gross profit before additional scopes. I kind of got ahead of myself here. Before additional scopes of work from your inspection findings when you're walking the roof every single year, and suddenly that customer becomes worth triple the amount. So the original $8,000, which was your 40% gross margin on the front end, plus the $16,000 that you're getting in recurring revenue. And I didn't even add in all the repairs, okay? So it's pretty cool. Changes everything because it's not just the money, but when your client is worth 3 times as much to you, raise your hand if you're from Oklahoma here. Okay. When your client is worth 3 times as much as that guy, or yours is worth 3 times as much as these people, you gain a massive advantage because this is what happens. You can spend more money to acquire clients, right? So if you know that this client is worth $24,000 to us and it's worth $8,000 to Kevin over here, you can outmarket them, you can out-advertise them, and you can also outgrow them because you can pay more for your people. You can basically leverage the cash for whatever it takes to grow the company, okay? All right, guys, that's a wrap on RoofCon 2026. We met some beautiful people, we heard some amazing stories, and we saw some really cool testimonies there at the end as Hunter and the rest of the guest speakers kind of wrapped everything up. If you have any questions around commercial roofing or anything that we discussed when it comes to compounding versus like the traditional transactional model of roofing, expanding your market from the 4% to the 100%, or even dominating the market by being able to spend more on your marketing, hire better people, all of the things that the compounding model allows you to do, reach out to me through social media. I'd love to have a chat. I'm a super nerd for everything roofing and business, and I'll see you guys in the next one.